Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freeman Files here on the J Free 906 podcast channel. As always, Mike Owen riding shotgun. Mike, how you doing?
Feverishly rereading notes and things. There was so much in this episode. I am trying to keep it all straight.
I know, right? And our very special guest tonight, Mr. Pete Kelsey. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, Jeff. Good to see you two again.
Oh my goodness, it's always wonderful to have you on with us. We always get more out of the story having you here and your insights on all of this and your how you do some of the things you do for this show. I hope you get hazard duty pay because we'll get to that as we go here along here tonight. Man, I don't know, not afraid to risk it for science. Ton of respect. There you go, right there. Oh, yes, that is for sure. I tell you what, man, this was a great show. And Mike and I were talking before we got started here tonight. We were talking a little bit about, the last couple episodes were good. Not to take anything away from them. They were both good. But man, they crammed a lot into this one, did they not?
I thought it was a 2-hour event or something. I'm like, what? Now we got this? What? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
They could have spread that out a little bit. This one was a little intense, you know?
It was a little
intense. And am I alone on how they left us hanging?
Oh, really? Come on.
I was mad for a little while. I was a little mad because there's so much we still need to know.
Right. So
stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Exactly. Right? The drinking game begins now.
Oh, well, we got a question to ask you about that later on. We'll get to that as we go along. Thank you, folks, for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it very, very much. As I always say, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and click on that notification bell so you know when we have some little clips and new material coming out. That's not our live show that we do pretty much every Wednesday night at 7:30. I know we're down to, well, according to the powers that be, we have 14 episodes of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch this season, and we are talking about number 11 tonight. So that gives us 3 remaining. Man, well, and we know the last one is probably going to be a review show in Brandon's offices. So does that leave us with 2? 2 to go. Man, I can't imagine what they're going to pack into just a few left. I know, right, Smurf? You ever, Heather? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Perhaps this week was a hint at that.
Yeah, it could very well be. I tell you, this was really a good one, and I think we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. We may have another special guest popping in here in just a little bit. Somebody that was running a little late tonight, but we'll hopefully everything will work out, and you'll find out who that is here in just a little bit. So let's get started, shall we? This particular episode, again, was one of those ones, as we mentioned, that had so much information in it. And we're going to do our best to kind of go through this because there's like a couple of 3 different segments in here, really, well, and then the cliffhanger at the end, of course, as well, that is going to kind of get it. So we're going to go slow. We're going to kind of go slow to get through this. I think that's my point I'm trying to make there. As I stammer around for just a few minutes. All right, so let's get started. So, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. This was season 7, episode number 11, called On the Radar, and it certainly was on the radar tonight. The team starts off in the command center, and they've got the guys that we've seen before out there. So there's Matt and Brian from Sky Elements on scene again. Now we've known that, or seen them guys out here before. Absolutely wonderful. I love when they come out because it gives us an opportunity to see, well, crashes and stuff, I mean, I know we don't really want it. Things happening. Well, I tell you, and that's one of those. I after we went through tonight a little bit, or watching the episode, then I went through today, getting everything ready. I just kept thinking to myself, when they're all done at Skinwalker Ranch and they're no longer needed, Sky Elements is going to have circuitry and programming written for every eventual possibility by the time this is done, because they keep having to reinvent themselves every time they come out to the ranch. Is that kind of the theme of it?
Well, I think it's certainly part of the value proposition for them, right? They can, like, we've flown everywhere, including the ranch. So, you got nothing to worry about here at, 4th of July or whatever it is.
Yep. But there they go, come out to Skinwalker Ranch. And then they've, because we've heard a little bit about some of the changes that they have made based upon the problems that have occurred at Skinwalker Ranch. So, man, I tell you what, if you go to the worst case scenario and get all your ducks in a row and your software written, and you go anywhere else, you should never have another issue anywhere else after it's all said and done, I would think. But man, yeah. The hard knocks of learning, though, right?
The important part is that they don't just keep coming back and letting their drones crash. I mean, they still do, but they're not just coming back with the same software, same drones, same technology, and getting the same result every time. They are innovating and improving their systems, and they're still getting skinwalkered. Go figure. But they're trying. They're trying.
It's a great point. You could call it the Skinwalker Ranch Proving Grounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not. So, so they got their work cut out for them here again tonight. And Brian, as you know, flying the FPV drone, man, I tell you what, I don't think I would have the reflexes to be able to handle something like that. But here they are. What they're doing is they're setting up. You got, Travis, he was sick during this particular exercises happening. And so he's going to stay out there where it says Spectrum Analyzer way over here. He's going to sit in the Jeep and he's going to have a couple of antennas pointed towards the ranch, and he's going to be, or towards the triangle. He's going to be looking for signals coming out. Obviously the 1.2, the 1.6, probably in the 33 megahertz or whatever. So he'll just stay to himself and work from there in the east field while all the action is happening at the triangle. And action, it turns out to be, for sure. I love to watch sometimes when you see Sam and Jim Royston and whatnot, the guys setting up the equipment at some of these antennas, some of the stuff that they put out there, and you look at the evolution, and that's something that, not only has Sky Elements, gained a lot in their technology and the things that they've added to their software and whatnot over the years of working out here, but also the equipment that the guys use, that people like Pete and everybody use out here. You see it evolving into better and better and better equipment each and every week or each and every season. This is incredible. I love to see that. That's one of the biggest things I love about the show is throwing the science that they do at all of this.
And of course, the data they've captured is some of, it might seem subtle, but I'll just say, for me, it's been some of the most interesting, fascinating, when you see that magnetic field go bananas like it did, that was great.
Yeah, it is.
And up in the middle of nowhere. But
exactly.
There's obviously no iron or anything up there that would be magnetic. And yet you've got a magnetic field up in the air. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Explain that to me, Lucy.
You got some explaining to do. But that's exactly right. And doing the scientific method that these guys do every week out there, they're seeing the same anomaly or the same anomalous regions or occurrences or whatever you want to label to that over and over and over again. And they did it again in last night's episode. It happened once again, and I'll get to that here in just a second. You see also the high-speed cameras being set up in place. As always, they put those around because they want to try to capture everything that they possibly can when they do these exercises, because you just don't know. It might be a drone flight, but then why do you need thermal? Oh, you need all of it here. You really do. You got to get a LiDAR's got to be there. You got to get all this stuff going because you never know what's going to show up. And I really love this. I like this picture here because this one here kind of shows as they're getting ready and they're hooking everything up with all the drones and everything. There's the high-speed camera right there that he's getting set up. Thomas is setting up. And these antennas. Now, I think this was one of the things that was added later on, was it not? Or improved? Was the communication link to did they always have these type of antennas out there?
Those are the RTK GPS.
Okay, these here? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So they've got a lot of different ways to communicate with these things, but yeah. I love that, and I love to capture these pictures of these things. Now, what the idea was early on, I guess, in the main experiment was to have 100 drones go up in a flat plane and move to an area above the height of wherever higher than any drones are allowed to fly, I should say, if I can get that out, to about 4,000 feet. Generally, I guess they're all confined to be no higher than 1,000 feet or 1,500, I think.
400 is
400.
400 feet is normal.
Oh, well, thank you. So 400 feet, but here they're going to try to get up to 4,000. So they got special permission for that.
And they said that was the highest that's ever been allowed.
Yes.
That's remarkable.
Yeah,
they have good ties in the FAA then.
Apparently.
For sure. Yeah, that's a record in the United States.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
And they never made it. Because
go figure.
Things happened about 3,000 feet up.
Well, there they are going up right there, and you can see the formation of 4. So they had these 100 drones set to go up later. That was going to be their final experiment, was to send up 100 and get them up to 4,000. They said, well, let's do a little test first. Let's get 4. We're going to take 4. We'll send 4 up, and we'll try to get up to that 4,000 feet with 4. We'll go through that anomalous region where we have the magnet, the electromagnetism going on up there in this one region. They said about 750 to 1,000 feet in there. Electromagnetic field up in that area. So they send these 4 up to go through this first. And then you see the 5th one, this one off here to the side, that's the FPV drone. And his job was to follow the others and keep filming them while they were ascending to their 4,000 foot level. When they did reach 800, you heard the call out that they're at 800 feet. And as soon as you heard that, Travis, sitting over in the east field in the Jeep, starts picking up a 1.6 gigahertz signal. Not a real strong one, but yet it's there. You can see it right here on the screen. There it is popping up.
Yep.
Now, that was right at when it hit that 750, 800 foot level, entering into that electromagnetic field. And then the drones, 3 of the 4, looks like they lose communication, or maybe all 4 of them. They got them circled, all 4 of them there, but the last one's not in purple, but it is in red over here. So all of them are having an issue of some sort. And it's, again, all this is happening when it's getting into that area.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Yeah.
So it says on the GPS, it says that the first 3 are RTK. The last one's,
is
that 30 or 3D?
It looks
3D.
like 3D.
Interesting.
Yeah. You're welcome. I sent you a link, Skinwalker Ranch official, Eric. I sent you a link, so pop in whenever you wish, sir. So yeah. So again, it's right when it's getting into that region.
Yeah.
So they go up, they continue to go up a little bit higher, and they get to the 1,000 foot range, and boom, they have connection again. Well, 3 of them. And in that one, that 4th one still says 30. It looks like 30, or it might be. I don't know what that means. It's 3D or 30. This one's really blurry. But they have connection again. And what else happens? But the 1.6 gigahertz signal is now gone. That's what I was talking about earlier, talking about the fact that they have seen this now with multiple different types of equipment, throwing different kind of electronics at it, and then they're still seeing this electromagnetic anomalous region above the ranch between 750 and 1,000 feet. So they're still seeing it. These now are seeing it as well. This is, I mean, how many different ways do you have to see something to know that it is truly there?
Yeah, the repeatability between 750 and 1,000 of that interference, and it's obviously magnetic, in some respects is seems like it's consistent. So that's good from a scientific the process and scientific repeatability. You want to see that. It is interesting the effect that it's having on all of the electronics, and obviously that can affect electronics in a lot of different ways, many of which we've seen. So, and then to tie the 1.6 signal coming on when it got there and turning off when it passed through that.
Yeah. What was that all about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many times did it happen in the show?
At least a couple.
Yeah.
Speaking of repeatability,
this episode, at least a couple.
Yeah. As far as what we saw. Now, you were there on the ground. You probably saw it happen a lot more times, depending upon what was going on up there. But they also, remember when they shot the rocket, they had that electromagnetic field meter inside the rocket, and you saw the field rise and drop as it went through the same region. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's there, folks.
Good confirmation.
You can deny it all you want, but it's there. They've seen it with multiple different types of equipment. So can't beat that anymore. One other thing that I really enjoyed about this was that they changed the color of the lights for everybody's benefit on the ground to know when it hit certain altitudes. It would change the color at 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet. The color of the drones, the light on them they were putting out would change. And again, you still see the FPV drone right there following them up. Another shot of them. That's the shot looking from the boy, I'm going to have to say this a lot of times tonight. FPV drone, watching them as they're going up. And they're interesting to note here that in this particular picture, they're all staying level. You're looking at them at a different perspective here, but they're all staying at the same altitude. So keep that in mind too as we go along here.
Provided by GPS.
Yes, all provided by good working GPS. When they get to 3,000 feet is when they turn to a yellow color. I think that's what that was. And I thought it was really interesting in here because I'm just looking at my pictures here. I think I might have them a little out of order here, but they start to have a little bit of an issue with the drones starting to come down. And you hear everybody yelling. This is when the drones came to fall. But before it got to this, let me jump ahead here just a moment because I definitely got something out of order here and I want to pull this up. This thing is really important. This is a little video that I grabbed and it kind of gives a good perspective of what's happening here. Bear with me a moment while I get this loaded up.
Notice how everybody's bundled up?
Yeah.
Yeah, look a little chilly.
Was it a little chilly?
I know the devil's in the details. I'm just wondering if that was noticed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mexi Ace 512. You would think that they'd be worried about a kill switch on the helicopter. Oh, yeah.
Don't hit that one.
Don't
do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the donation, by the way. I really appreciate your supporting the show. Thank you very, very much. It truly, truly helps. But
I wasn't, but I am now.
Yeah. Thanks for that. But anyway, so let me play this, because the first thing I think we got coming up here.
2,500. Whoa, dude. What the heck?
Okay, you saw that right there. Now, what that was the FPV drone being pushed back away from the drones, the ones that the 4 going up that he's following. And he described it. You could hear his expression, so you know it's not him doing it on purpose on the sticks. You know, drone got pushed away from where it was. What was your estimate on how far? I mean, it was really hard to see exactly. Was it about 30 feet got pushed? Pete, you were there. Do you recall that at all?
It's so hard to tell when they are at that extreme altitude.
Yeah.
The other thing, again, devil's in the details, you'll notice that the LED colors of the drones change.
Ah, they were supposed to be yellow still.
Yeah, if you play it again, you'll see them change just before stuff gets nuts.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they turned white.
Yeah, right when, and then went back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So the FPV drone shouldn't move. Should only move based on what he is sending with the controller, and if the attitude of the drone, because what you position it however you want it, it should try and remain that way. If something acts on it from outside, a gust of wind or something, and it tries to, if you happen to have one sitting around, if you suddenly get a gust of wind that kicks it up, it will automatically try to get back to the position the controller has the drone in. So it is still sophisticated enough to know that it is being forced into a position that I have not told it to be in, and it will try and correct itself. And it does it. I mean, it's electronic, so it's doing it many, many times a second. It's checking all of the accelerometers and barometer and all that kind of stuff, magnetometers. So that shouldn't have happened. It should have corrected immediately, and it might have wobbled a little bit, and he would have said, if it was a breeze or something. But a gust of wind strong enough to push an FPV drone that far would have also affected the 4 drones that he was looking at.
Yes. So
that couldn't have been it. It had to have been something specific to the FPV drone. And as Pete pointed out, the other drones did seem to register something was different, because the light changed at the exact moment that it got shoved backwards.
And Brian squealed.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because we drone pilots do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all do that. And
especially
that's true indicator that something unusual, startling, whatever the right word is, something has gone down that the pilot did not expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you get very used to, you're basically transported to the drone. You're in the drone, and you're used to it doing exactly what you want, and with very, very small, precise movements on the control sticks. Yep. You're used to it doing. It's like an extension of your body, and to suddenly have it do something that you didn't tell it to do, is very alarming. And I know some folks mentioned, well, what if somebody else had a controller? Well, the radio controllers do have an encryption of sorts. There is a passcode that you have to put in order to sync your radio controller to the drone, because there's, drone competitions, and you can have, many drones flying all at the same time on a racetrack. You don't want somebody turning on their radio controller and suddenly taking over your drone in the middle of a race or something. So it's not as simple as just finding the frequency it's on and sending a different signal. That doesn't work. So, yeah.
It did. And that comment was very good, because yes, it was. You saw it affecting all of them. It didn't push them like it did the FPV drone,
Right?
but they all were affected by something that was going on there. I wonder if the drones thought that they were way out of the geofencing, maybe.
Yeah. So the question for Sky Elements is, what did that color change in the drone's LED indicate?
Yep.
That's the missing piece of info that I'm really curious about.
Yeah. Did that mean that they were at whatever color that was? They thought that they were now at 1,000 feet or whatever white was? Or
loss of signal,
Yeah.
Loss of connectivity with the controller, loss of GPS. Who knows? Batteries are dead. What does that indicate?
Yep. That's a great point. Boy, we probably won't get that piece of information. I would, sad to say, but I don't think we'll get that. It'd be nice if we could find that out. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to run that. I'm going to play that again. And it not only does it happen once, but it happens twice. So here's that first one again when it happens the first time.
Whoa, dude. What the heck?
Okay, and here it happens again.
What is
even further that way?
Dude, what?
Interesting. That time the lights didn't change. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That time they did not change. Yeah. But he got pushed back just the same. So, yeah, it did happen twice. Yep.
And just like threw it back.
It like threw it back, he said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you know what? Like Mike was just talking about. Now, I don't have a drone. I'm not flying drone. I haven't flown any drones, but I understand when he talks about, it becomes an extension of you, because you're looking through its eyes through the camera. And so I think that thump noise was actually the sound effects in the show.
Sound effects.
Yeah. From the Prometheus, edited that in. But, I would almost expected him to kind of get, move his body when that happened, because he would be reacting in such a way that, like it was happening to his person as well. He's that tuned into what's going on with that thing. So, all right. So you had that push. That was the first thing that took place, was the push. Then you get a little bit more action going on.
I'm going to try to keep pushing through it, though.
He said, I'm going to keep trying to push through it, though. All right. Now you see him go from red to yellow again.
3,000 feet.
3,000 feet.
The drones.
And they
Whoa.
And they yeah. I'm going to play that again real quick.
Whoa.
They changed colors.
Feet.
The drones. Whoa.
Turned off, went red, turned off.
Went to red blinking, it looked like.
Yeah. I don't know what red blinking means, but
I think that's bad.
Switch.
I don't know what it means, but it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be bad. So, yeah.
You never saw 25 people move so fast in your life.
Well, and I feel bad for Brian, because he's got those goggles on. He can't just take those off and run over to the trailer like everybody else, because he's in the middle of flying. Yeah, look at him, he moves, but like I said, you get so engrossed in being in the drone. I mean, I've been flying on the back deck, and or at least thought I was on the back deck, and my kids are like, "Hey, Dad, you're gonna step off the deck." Like, what? And fly the drone back to see where I'm standing, because I don't remember where I'm standing, and I'm on the edge of the deck and about to step off as I turn and look at where the drone is to try and keep my signal strong. So to suddenly, I mean, he could have just ripped the goggles off and let the drone fall with the other ones, but those FPV drones are cheap. So I probably would have just curled up into a little ball and kept flying. What do you do?
Well, Sandra Adams asked, did all 4 drones follow the same path when they were deactivated? If it is the first time that they've stayed in sync with each other, if this is now, so they did, but they don't on every all the way down
Each time, yeah.
Different things happen at different times with these things. And that was the first, and I'm going to play this other little clip here because I've got here to go as well. This was after you start getting the.
They fell.
They fell.
They're falling. Look out.
One falling. One falling.
Drone's coming down. Drone's coming down.
Take cover.
Get in the vehicle.
Brings back memories, huh, Pete?
You want a behind the scenes story?
Yes, absolutely.
So, for the Monty Python fans out there, it was Holy Grail. It was Run Away, and it was particularly scary because they were at 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about terminal velocity, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, everybody is literally people diving under pickup trucks, diving into the trailer. The funny part for me is I probably can't talk about why, but next week it might make more sense. But I was at one of the tables doing my thing, and I'm like, okay. And I got under the table. And oh my God, did I take so much abuse for that? Like, it could have come through the tent. It would have gone right through the table. I'm like, come on. Anyway, it was.
Yeah, Eric said he was asked to put the red Jeep closer to the tent so folks could dive under it as a shield.
Yes.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that was funny for me because I got a front row seat watching everybody run for their lives. So I'm looking over there and there's people stacked on top of each other, squeezed under a Jeep or a pickup. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
That was the thing when they were at, whatever, 400 feet or whatever, when we had Drone Mageddon, and they were all falling. That's bad enough. And the one that was chasing after Thomas came right in the tent, was chasing after Thomas. We talked about that a little bit last week. Don't taunt the ranch. As Thomas and Eric told us about when that episode happened. But these, like you just said, Pete, these are falling from 3,000 feet, and they could kill you. If it hit you on the head, you could die from this. This isn't just it's not just floating down like a leaf to the ground. It's coming down hard. And what do they weigh? 3 or 4 pounds a piece?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we scattered. Like I said, you never saw 25 people move so fast.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it really is. So anyway, they crash down, they go retrieve them, get them all picked up and bring them back over. And believe it or not, they actually decide to do the experiment again. They gather up. Now, this was the picture that I used for the thumbnail tonight, because there's Pete, and Eric is standing right there, and they decide, let's do it again. We're going to take 4 up one more time to see if we can hit that 4,000 foot level and finally achieve that particular height. So they do. They go back and they get 4 more, and they lift off and start their way up. And now you see there's the Jeep that I think that
that's a better spot.
Talking about
that's a better spot.
Closer. Yeah. So Brian's going to sit inside now. He was, like we talked about, he was kind of trapped. I'm kind of laughing about it because I'm assuming everybody came through this unscathed. So hopefully,
yep.
So it's kind of a little bit funny when you look back at it in that particular case. But now, because he had such trouble, I mean, he's trying to fly and run to cover at the same time. would make it kind of hard. So now he can just kind of stay inside, duck inside, and keep flying. So good job on that thought right there.
Hey, John asked a question in the chat about the props on the drone and wouldn't they spin? It depends on if the drone has been given an actual kill, that we call it arm or disarm switch, disarm command. That stops the props and then they're free to spin. But for the most part, they're not heavy enough. They're so light and thin. They don't have enough mass to spin to slow anything down. It just falls like a rock. And that kind of looks like what these got. So
yeah, and they tumble.
Unfortunately, there's no auto rotate on a drone. It just falls like a brick.
Yeah, and
very expensive brick.
3 or 4 pound brick hitting you on top of the head is not going to feel too good. They should just stand in the triangle area. Nothing falls down there. Good point, though. Isn't that interesting?
Safe zone. That is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
I'll write that down.
Run for the triangle.
Yeah, run for the triangle. It seems to have a bubble over it. So, so that was pretty interesting. So, okay, they do it again. They send up 4 more of the drones, and basically the same exact thing happens again. But this time it happens with the programmed drones, the 4, and not to the FPV drone. The second time up, the FPV drone is fine. We don't see anything in particular happen to it. And it, even when all heck breaks loose with the other ones, he's able to fly around them as they're coming down. And I got a little bit more video here that I'm going to show on this as we move ahead here. I think I got this cued in the right place here. Okay, so there he is spinning around.
Goes.
So you saw this was on the second one, and I'm going to back that up just a little bit. Now watch this closely. You'll see the other drones just pull away from him down, and then he's flying around to the side to get a better view of him.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Now there you see them all scattered. There's 1 here, 2, 3, and 4. And they're tumbling now. Some of them are tumbling. They're not under any kind of control anymore, but they still have their light on, so you can see them as they're coming down out of the sky. And it seemed like I heard somebody say something at one point, and all the yelling that was going on was that the one was hovering. So it seemed like they were trying to still run a command of some sort. It seemed as though. Was that your impression as well, Pete? I mean, did you catch that as well, or?
No, we were all running for our lives.
Okay, yeah, I forget. Not worrying about that at the time. What was that message there? I missed that one. I find it interesting that the anomaly knew the difference between the normal drones and the other one.
They were affected differently, for sure. But like I said before, keep in mind the FPV drone does not rely on GPS. You can put GPS on them, but that's meant for an emergency recovery, or you can have it hover in place. Like if the goggles go dead, you can flip a switch and it'll send it into a hover mode and just keep it wherever it is. Just keep it stationary until you can fix your camera problem. But it is not controlled with GPS. The other drones definitely are. So that would be one of the main differences between the two.
Yep.
And we know how well GPS works on the ranch.
Yes. Yeah. You can rely on it 100%.
Right, Pete?
Anytime. Did they maintain connectivity to the remote even while they were being affected by something external, or did they disconnect and immediately reconnect to the remote?
It's a good question. I don't know if we know that.
Yeah. Well, maybe not the remote, but the program, I guess, or their whatever's.
Well, I think at risk of having lawyers drop out of the ceiling.
Yes, we don't want that.
We want
if the Sky Elements people are diving under trucks, they have lost control.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Thank you. And that was definitely looked like the case because they were running. So let's see what else I got here on this particular one here. I want to show.
Turns yellow. It will be at that 3,000 foot mark.
Okay, that's when they're going up still. 3,000 feet, and then they drop.
Oh,
Flashing.
all right, what's going on?
Yeah, that's just nuts. Now, I was wondering when
Flash.
this was, yeah.
Now look, you see them? Look.
What the?
Look at that. It looks like they're moving sideways first, then they take off super fast.
Then they just slow down.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Yeah. One looked like it was tumbling for sure. The
Yeah.
one that was up higher looked like it was trying
Mhm.
to hang in there, but didn't make it.
And that's what I was wondering. Was it trying to reestablish its connectivity? Was it trying to reestablish its program and get back to that? Or was that all, who knows? Or was one of the fail safes? Because it has like several fail safes on this thing, as far as I've been told, that when it's outside of a perimeter, do this. It gets a little further out, do this. You get too far out, drop to the ground.
Yeah.
But
The other, I think, elephant in the room in terms of evidence are the logs from those drones.
Right.
Yeah.
The black box.
Yep.
Because
That was
we've
mentioned.
seen that data in the past few weeks.
Mhm.
So that's another.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, because that's when that was the other thing that told them that there was some sort of anomalous region in that
Yeah.
750 to 1,000 foot level, because they saw the lines going up and then the wiggle taking place all within that region of area that they were all getting kind of yeah. Stay tuned for the logs, exactly, because we didn't get all that
I sure hope so.
just yet. I do too. I really do too. I think that's going to be vitally
I
important.
mean, that's the evidence that stands up in a courtroom. I
Yeah.
sure hope so.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, and by the way, I have unfinished business with these drone flights. A new way to analyze what happened has just come online. Yes, Pete.
My brother from another mother.
Yep. Hey, and I'll say again, Eric, if you want to join us, I sent a link to your email. So you can just click on the link and I can bring you on screen with us. It's up to you. I know you got
Well,
some.
he's up on the ISS again. I mean,
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's probably floating in space right now. Yep. All right. So jumping over to the command center to take a look at some of the stuff from the drone flight. And this is, we're going to do and here, this is, I was hoping he'd be here to help promote this. But we've been talking with Eric a little bit about doing a special podcast with him to talk about his metaframe. And that's what we're getting ready to look at here a little bit about metaframe. And I'm not going to, I'm going to I wouldn't do justice trying to describe this thing for him, metaframe at all, but it allows you to see every instance of where something was over a period of time, a short period of time or whatever. So, and you'll see here in these pictures, you'll see the 4 drones. These 4 lights right here are the 4 drones that are pre-programmed, all right, to do the flight. This little one right here off to the side, that is the FPV, and it's already beginning. Remember that push that it got pushed away. Okay, this is the push happening, and there you see it going even further away here. Okay, and this is the metaframe showing us this. So it shows that whole light going all the way across. And as I was saying, I'm just going to say, just for, yeah, here goes the yeses right here. Yeah. Linda asked the question, are you all interested in having Eric do a podcast about this? Perhaps we need to convince him. Yes. Look at all the yeses, Eric.
Eric, do a podcast about science and technology and toys and programs.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes. Count me in. Whenever you're ready, Eric, we'll do that podcast. In any of the science that you have created or programs you've written or anything that you want to show us from the lab that you're allowed to show us, count me in.
You
All
can
you gotta
show us
do-
stuff you're not allowed to show us too.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean,
We're just friends here. We won't say a word. I
yeah,
promise.
Nobody's
don't say
listening.
anything.
One thing I did want to
Maybe-
mention is that it's important to note that Metaframe is not a camera. Metaframe is a software program that Eric wrote that he can apply to any video.
Yeah.
And is extremely helpful. Obviously, that was a different kind of shot where they were looking straight up, and they even kind of zoomed in a little bit. It's very versatile, and he's got all kinds of tools in his bag of tricks.
Maybe I can bait Eric a little bit.
Oh.
So I've always looked at, because he'll want to correct me if I'm completely wrong.
Oh,
So
okay, all right.
There's a method to my madness. I've looked at Metaframe. We've talked about ghosting and LiDAR over the years. If something moves through the scan,
Yep.
the LiDAR will pick it up and it will ghost. In my simple lizard brain, Metaframe to me does the same thing, but with visible light.
Oh.
It's change detection.
Yeah.
Because it's literally, you're watching a light source ghost over time.
That's true.
So-
Yep.
Now, either Eric's head just exploded or he's logging in
Yeah.
or one of the two.
Yeah.
Throwing things at the monitor. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna. Yeah, Maya's right on. Everybody that's watching, we're gonna throw you a DocuSign for an NDA, so Eric can come on and talk about things that he's not supposed to tell us. But yes, we saw that happen last week at Homestead 3. When was it last week? When they saw the light that was moving from Homestead 3, and Metaframe caught the whole movement of this light source as it was moving away from Homestead 3, when everybody got excited and sent over the thermal drone, and Thomas and Caleb went running over that way to check on to see who it was. And lo and behold, nothing was found. How many times has that happened on the ranch? Quite a few. We will get into a little bit more of the analysis in the command center analysis later on in the podcast here, talking about some more of the things that happened during this particular portion with the drones. Because, I mean, we could spend the whole, that's what we were talking about earlier about this particular episode, and this episode being so packed full with information and data and things to discuss. We could have spent the whole time just talking about these drones, and we're already an hour in, not 48 minutes in, and we're just finishing up with the drones. So
they need to spread this stuff out. They're going to kill us. I swear.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's jump to the next segment of the show, which was Doppler Radar, bringing out Dr. Karen and Dr. Joshua coming out, and they brought their own special Doppler Radar unit out to the ranch. This thing is really cool. Now, what they're going to do now, Doppler Radar is set up to look for weather anomalies, tornadoes, hurricanes, or basically water droplets in the air. It's going to scan those and send those back to the receiver, back to the unit. Now, what they're going to do with it in this particular case is have it set up over in the east field, watching towards the triangle area while they have the helicopter up in the air, dropping these aluminum bottles out, 100 of them at a time. They're going up twice. And they got little parachutes on them. They're going to toss them out. And they want to see these as they come down through the bubble area and watch them with the Doppler radar. I don't know whose idea this one was. I think they said they talked about this for a while before they were able to get it going. But you see there a little drawing of what's going to take place. So these are the little bottles falling out of there. And it was my understanding that, I don't know if they said all of them or some of them had a GPS tracker inside. But I don't know if Pete was there with them. I don't know if it was all of them or some of them, but I heard that mentioned that there was GPS tracking.
Yeah, I doubt it would have been all of them just because of a budgetary thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of GPS trackers.
I mean, can you imagine the cost of the Doppler truck, the helicopter? I mean, oof.
I can't imagine, honestly.
There was a lot of bottles, though. 200.
It was a lot. Yeah, there was 200.
Where does one get 200 empty bottles?
That's another funny behind the scenes story is when I saw the poor folks who had to literally put all those together. These are the APs, the assistant producers.
Yeah.
Oh, there was box after box of them, and I'm thinking, you poor SOBs. Oh my God. It must have taken hours and hours and hours and hours. So, yeah.
Well, they kind of look like, there was a particular adult beverage that was sold. And I think they still
in a bottle very much like that.
In a aluminum bottle with a cap on it like that. And they're about the same size and shape as the ones that were tossed out of the helicopter. I thought
there were some very dedicated people to science.
Somebody had to empty all those
Empty
things.
those.
That explains why we didn't see them for 2 or 3 days after. I'm kidding. Yeah, but aluminum was obviously on purpose because radar, the R in radar is radio.
Mm-hmm.
You need something reflective.
Yeah, little metal cans. Yeah, with lids that screw on. And if they have GPS inside, then they have to have the antenna coming out, right? I mean, they can't. I don't think GPS is going to work through aluminum. I don't know. Maybe.
Or it was on the outside of the bottle, or antenna was on the outside, one way or another.
Yep. So, all right. So what's going to happen is they're going to throw them out of the helicopter at two different heights, 2,500 feet and 3,500 feet. And they're going to watch with the Doppler radar as they come down and see what happens. So that's the idea of this particular experiment. There's the radar truck sitting there pointed towards the triangle area, getting ready to do the scanning going on. You can see here in the east field, looking towards the triangle, which is right here. And we talked about this a little bit last week. Mike and I did about the Doppler radar, and we were both saying it'd probably be a really good idea to have the truck outside of the area looking in, because Pete just talked about the cost of this thing to rent it or to have it out there. What generally happens to equipment, expensive electronic equipment, when it comes to the ranch?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the ranch chew up and spit out a D8 bulldozer. I mean, really? Yeah. And you bring in a Doppler radar truck?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now you understand the paperwork that has to be signed is about that thick.
Yeah.
Proceed at your own risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Initial every page. But they did. They put it inside of the bubble area right there in the east field, which I thought was pretty ballsy a move to do to get that there. So, and of course, you couldn't have it all happen without, shooting a few rockets off, because they always seem to get attention. Eric in the command center. I mean, look at it. He's got eyes on everything, man. Nothing goes on there if he's not, that he's not paying attention to out there on the ranch. Now, the Doppler radar, he's pointing here on this screen because, again, I'm looking at it's like looking at GPR data later on. I'm looking at it going, okay, it looks gray, squiggly lines. I don't know where we're at. I don't know what we're looking at. And that's the case here. He's pointing with his finger right there where the triangle is located in this mass of data that's on the screen here, right? So kind of know that right in the middle of it there would be where the triangle is. Okay. And that's where the Doppler radar is watching this whole region area right there. So once they get ready to start doing things with the bottles, they do pick up. Oh, they see a rocket go. They saw the rocket launch. They shoot the one rocket, the first one, and they go, "Oh, okay, there it is right there. We saw it launch. You see it shoot by right here." So they did pick it up, and that was one of the tests. Can the Dopplers see it and pick it up on there? It did. But then it also picks up something else. That's cruising around about 500-600 feet off the ground. This yellow little blip right here, and it's moving. So it wasn't just a one sweep of the radar thing that popped in there and then was gone. It stayed there for multiple sweeps, and it was moving closer and closer toward the triangle as they watched it. There he is pointing at it again as it's getting very close to the triangle. Now, this is something that when Travis saw this thing, he's calling out to the guys to look around the area to see if they can spot anything. And Pete, you're standing out there in the triangle area with them. And you guys saw nothing. Nothing was happening. Here's a picture of, there it is again. That's anomaly as it's, right there by the triangle. And there's Pete. And he's like, it's right above the triangle. And Pete's like, what?
Yeah.
But hey, you're standing right next to that fancy piece of equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's that thing on the tripod there?
I wonder what that saw.
Yeah. I wonder if that.
Don't say stay tuned.
Yeah, no. We'll just go
ahead and tell us.
We'll just kind of move along a little bit as we go, right? Hey, look who's here. Mr. Bard, how are you doing, sir?
Well, I finally got my camera working.
Oh, good. Wow, look at where you're at. Oh, my goodness.
The International Space Station.
It does look like that.
Yes.
I want to know how he's overcome 0G.
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah. 0G. So,
thank you for joining us, by the way.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad to jump on. I realized that I kind of jumped in at the end of what you were talking about.
No, we can go back. I don't mind if you have anything you want to add to it.
Well, I thought I'd just, be a fly on the wall until you guys have a question.
Well, honestly, I have so many questions that honestly you just can't yet answer at this point. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Because there's so much about what we want yet to see that you're going to say, well, stay tuned. Like I was going back to the bottles that were being or getting ready to be tossed out of the helicopter with the GPS inside. We did not see any of that data yet. I hope we do. I really hope we get to see some of that data. Because that would be kind of important as well. And also like this unit right here, this terrestrial laser scanner that we happen to see Pete standing next to in the triangle. All these things are running all the time, folks, on this stuff. And so, sometimes it doesn't get good data, and sometimes for whatever reason, they don't put the data in the show. Unfortunately for it. But
one question we had, Eric, was how many GPS units were on the bottles or in the bottles? It certainly wasn't 200 GPS units in 200 bottles. It was some subset of that.
No. As a matter of fact, I think it's important to point out that the bottles were basically there to serve as reflectors. They were not GPS tracked. The GPS tracking, was really tracking the helicopter.
Oh, okay.
And that way we can keep up with where where they are when they're deploying the bottles, throwing them out. There's some stay tuned parts to this. I don't want to preempt the results.
So
right.
Close.
Yeah,
so close.
No, we'll, that's when we got to the stay tuned, obviously it was like, you've got to be kidding me. But
Oh,
then it
gosh.
was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's all right. We can wait and get more next week. But
So did Prometheus do that to us again?
yes, they did. Yeah.
Badly.
No.
Yeah, and I'll show you right where
Never
it happened too, because I know you probably didn't watch the episode, but I'll show you right where it happened. So
Yeah, I want to see it.
yeah, so well, the next little thing that I popped up that I wanted to ask you about was this right here, and it wasn't your expression on your face, which I know that they love to get your befuddled moment. That's not what I really am looking at in this particular picture.
Oh, look at that.
I'm looking at this screen right here.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on there? Can I ask what that is, or is that just a fancy screensaver or something going on?
No, actually. Okay, so that's something I call nav stars. I haven't really said much about it. It is navigational satellite tracking and radiometric survey. It's basically something that keeps up with all the GNSS satellites.
Oh wow!
And I'll walk you through it sometime. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to take us too far down the rabbit hole, but basically it's a way of looking at a whole lot of metadata coming from all the satellites, all the GNSS, meaning, GPS, GLONASS, Beidou, and Galileo constellations. And so, we've been talking about doing work with satellites for, you guys are aware of the Ranch Set initiative and so forth. And so, I put this together to provide a kind of a baseline, to get a baseline map of the canopy over the ranch, and to see if there are any unusual occlusions or, anything that would somehow modify the signals coming down or compromise those signals coming down from the what we typically call the GPS satellites, but really it's GNSS.
Yeah.
It's a cool system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a ton of metrics. There's a ton of stuff that comes off of it, and we'll talk about it sometime.
Good.
Deal.
Good.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yes. And you saw the response, or I'm assuming you saw the response from everybody in the chat when we asked about, would you like to see a podcast where Eric is describing to us the metaframe? And they were all, yes.
And everything else.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to fit it all in. I mean, Pete knows I've been working on some crazy stuff lately.
Mad scientist.
Project Badass.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, one of the most exciting things that I've done, recently. Well, first of all, you were talking about the drones with sky elements, right? Yes. And the metadata that we get off of the internal recordings made on those cards, the
black box.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the black box data. Well, I have that data for the other what we call shows, the other drone shows, but I have not. Either I never received it, or I need to ask for it. For those 4 drone exercises that fell out of the sky, I need that data. I really need.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet either, too. And I was hoping you'd get that. So that's something they haven't shown us yet.
Yeah, yeah. So at your discretion and when it's convenient, we can go through some of these tools. And my hope, I don't know that they're going to be used in any other public-facing work, but they might. And I'd be glad to walk you through what I've been doing with them to study what exactly is going on with the drones and all the measurements that they're making on the way up and the way back down throughout the whole flights. So anyway, that's a lot of words from me.
Well, and it's fascinating too. It really is, because it has shown you so much. I mean, we did see a couple weeks ago when they showed the drones that were going up in the 100. There were 100 drones in a square. Yes. They went up, and then you saw the data later showing how they got up into that anomalous zone, 750 to 1,000 feet, and they got a little squirrely. They were trying to regain their positions and stuff.
Yes.
We saw those lines of that data, and it was like right in that same anomalous zone up there.
Yeah, and there are several of the metrics that they collect. They're like I say, they're right now. I've got that one of those 100 drone things on my screen, and I can literally, we'll do this sometime. You can ride one of those drones all the way up and take the whole. It's a way of seeing things that even in real time you can't do it.
Oh yeah.
But I really enjoyed studying those data sets, looking for those those layers, those levels where the metrics change, as particularly the magnetic field. We've talked a lot about that.
Yep.
Also, some things that I've been doing with LiDAR that is just bringing it back to life. Pete was talking about the stack up that you get that we often call ghosting. Well, every single LiDAR point, has a kind of a timestamp associated with it. So I can actually play them, we can watch them in real time, how the LiDAR data collection process plays out. And so we're looking at individual laser hits on the landscape or whatever's around, and especially those anomalous points. Yeah. And so what we're doing with this tool, I call it Chrono Cloud, because it gives us the cloud with time. What it allows us to do is study, like I'd like to do with the MetaFrame, really change our engagement with the process in time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. We'll have some fun looking at that sometime. But.
Wow. Yes, we will. That's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine, because Pete is always blowing my mind talking about I don't know, I'm going to throw out numbers of thousands, tens of thousands, millions of data points.
Yeah. And
you're able to track them all?
Yeah. So, there's it's a lot of points. And so, for every one of the clouds that I've gotten from Pete that actually has what we call track files or trajectory files, path files, what I can do is I can take you along with the instrument and see the data collection process in real time, or really slow it down. We can go microseconds at a time. And when we hit those points that don't belong, those mysterious points that you see us all kind of, wrinkling our noses at, we can study exactly where was the instrument, what was going on, what was in the vicinity, what was the circumstance, the totality of the circumstance when those points showed up in the scans. And so, Pete, I'm going to have some requests for you. I really need some more of the. I got a lot of them, but I need some more of those trajectory files or the XYZ files.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I mean, you know what? And I'm assuming, without taking this too far, before we have you on to cover it all, this is something that you've developed. I mean, this is your brainchild.
It's a ton of software. Just a whole lot of different things that I think we've really been needing in this work. I want to give us more leverage on these mysterious outcomes. None of us is content to simply marvel at things going sideways, right? We want to understand it.
Yes.
As much as we enjoy the novelty of all these strange outcomes, I think it's important that we dive in and really give it our very best to make sense of those, whether it's a LiDAR scan or a strange drone result. Look at the metadata, look at it as many ways as we possibly can. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been burning a lot of midnight oil.
You always have. Oh my gosh.
Right.
I know. Ever since we first started in the Insider program, I never knew before that, but I was one of the, I got in like this for the second month of the Insider program.
Yep.
And honestly, it has been such a learning moment for me, going through the months and the times, so listening to you and the guys talk about all this changing technology and what you're doing with it, and what things that you're taking some technology that was supposed to be for this, and now you're using it for this.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Amazing. And I've learned so much. And folks, I know I sound like a promo, and I'm going to talk about the Insider program. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic program. It does cost, I think it's about $10 a month. Go to skinwalker-ranch.com. You can sit in times with the Discord channel. They have a special Discord channel, and listen and watch Eric while he's working on some of these.
That's all that's going on. Sometimes it's like watching paint dry, and frankly, sometimes it's like watching dry paint.
Well, I tell you, it's a great program. It really is.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun, answering questions. I love to do that. Of course, I'm not as good at it as Pete is, but it's fun while we're doing doing development work. Pete's tool set has evolved tremendously in the time since we got started. But the neat thing is, I'm able to go back years after the fact and really just bring new life to these scans, these billions and billions of points. Every single one of those laser shots is, in a sense, an experiment of its own. When we're talking about strange things going on, possibly redirecting light or having some optical effect, every single part of those scans is a place for us to get more of that kind of evidence and understand where it came from and when it came from. Wow. So I'm having a lot of fun with the data you've shared with me over the years, Pete.
Man. Well, and being unsatisfied with, I have no idea what we're seeing.
Right.
I can't explain it.
Yep.
Right. That cannot be underscored enough. That will likely never, get any airtime, but I've from years of eyewitness accounts, Eric, everybody wants answers. And Eric, you remain unsatisfied. And I love that because, I'm surrounded by people who want answers, right? In my industry.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
We work with LiDAR. So,
and another thing I think is important is, we have to, I think we have an opportunity to kind of redefine, or let's just say reset our understanding of how this science actually works. We are operating with, familiar tools and methods to engage with the unfamiliar, right? We are at the interface between the known and the unknown. So absolutely, we're going to get a bunch of stuff wrong. It's an iterative process, and we're going to crash a lot of these experiments. We're going to discover, some of them are even more interesting than we thought when we crawl into them. And some of them maybe we get them figured out. That's what this work is really all about. And I call it the epistemic odyssey. It's how do you know what you know? How do
you know?
Well, and I think we've even got a couple of examples, to Eric's point, where we went back, basically just was sort of this is an unacceptable result, right? Like, what was it? Season 2, we scanned Homestead 2 and a whole room in the back didn't show up in the scan.
I remember that.
I was mortified. I was absolutely mortified. I was sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're revealing this in scene, and I'm going, oh no, what did I do wrong?
Well, yeah, and in a minute, in the moment, we're all going, oh my God, aliens, Elvis, right. Jimmy Hoffa, oh my God. But, a couple months later, long after the episode aired, we fixed it.
Yeah, how did that work?
It happens. We're human.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of the things we're going to have to do, guys, is we're going to have to take that ride I was talking about earlier with the LiDAR, and we're going to essentially watch every one of Pete's footsteps or Caleb's footsteps as they move with the instrument. It's keeping up with all the accelerations, changes in direction, every single point that's collected. And, it's really fun. It's really immersive to see how that data gets assembled into that point cloud. So a lot of more, I could see the LiDAR really taking on new significance in this work going forward.
Coming to life.
And what we had talked about at one point was that in most cases, Pete's product is a complete data set, a complete done scan, like say Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal in and of itself, but you've got a very different problem set on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
Because there's things that are happening while the scan is happening. So you need to be able to analyze the data in real time and watch it happen to see if there's consistencies that you can glean from those anomalous those naughty little returns that show up below ground, Pete. Come
Yeah.
on, just fess up. It can see underground, can it? I mean,
Yeah,
it clearly can, because
Yeah.
there's so many returns underground. It must just.
You know how
Yeah.
much I would love to be able to say, "Oh yeah, that's all. I've been making it up."
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
laser light, infrared light can see through the earth.
Oh yeah, sure.
Hundreds of feet through rock.
Well, look,
Jan
guys,
would be interested in that.
Yes.
this is what I want to promise you. You mentioned, Mike, studying it in real time.
Yeah.
They're studying it in real time. And then they're studying it in bullet time, right?
Yes.
And then they're studying it in photon time. And I think we're going to do the latter. We're going to have some fun crawling through this stuff if we get a chance to connect when you guys are doing one of these discussions.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, when the show is over, I'll say this real quick and I'll let you guys go. When the show is over, we got 3 more episodes. We're going to have time for you. Believe me, we're going to have Wednesday available.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm glad to share. I love having, especially Pete, if you can be part of it.
I would love to see Pete's expressions as you go through some of that.
Well, he's so much better at explaining his tech and his method, right? So I can talk to the data and I can say, look, here's what I did with it. But there is
I've seen this tool, and just wait, because it's, again, having been in industry for 20 years, it's a completely new and different way to engage point cloud data, regardless of sensor, whether it's SLAM, TLS, drone-based LiDAR.
Yeah.
To Eric's tool, a point cloud is a point cloud is a point cloud. And to see it evolve using time, which you all know I'm a bit obsessed with, is just the coolest thing.
Wow.
It'll be worth the wait, however long the wait is.
So Pete, you've said over the years, this is so memorable. You measure your success one wow at a time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that saying.
That's great.
Oh,
That is right.
Great big wow to this tool. It's just wait.
There was a question up here a moment ago from Sandra Adams, and it said, for Pete and Eric, would it be possible to do something like a 24-hour time-lapsed photography with the FLIR camera at Homestead 2 or Homestead 3 and maybe simultaneously?
I might be able to speak to that. So FLIR camera. Now, Pete, of course, you've got a very sophisticated drone-based thermographic imaging system, right? You've been using that in some of your flights. The FLIR camera that I've used, that you've seen used in some of our work, is actually a kind of a research grade camera. It's not really meant for being deployed outdoors, especially in a ranch-like environment. It's not the right tool for that job necessarily, but I suppose, weather permitting, conditions permitting, yes, we could set it up on a tripod and do exactly what was proposed, time lapse and all sorts of other things. Imagine a mashup of Metaframe and FLIR. We can do whatever we want, right? It's bits and bytes.
Man, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Totally possible. We don't have the gear.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. That's the word. Yet.
Love that. Let's see. Okay, let's jump back.
Right, get us back on track, Jeff.
Let's go. I'm just like I'm ready to start going off on sorts of different things here. Let's continue on with the episode because there's still some really cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, so they're getting ready now for the helicopter. Let's throw these aluminum bottles out of the helicopter with the parachutes on them. Get them down through there. Let the Doppler radar take a look at them, and we'll see what we get. All right, so they bring over, this is Jeremy comes over with Cameron. He works for Aerodynamic Jets. They're bringing him over as one of the 2 daredevils that are going to be hanging out the side of the helicopter, for crying out loud. Here's a shot of the bottles in these baskets they have inside on the seat.
Now, that's a really good shot because, Pete, do you see there? There's seats inside the helicopter. I just want to make sure and be clear. Everybody sees there's very nice seats in that helicopter.
Mike, you ignorant slut. I'm kidding. Saturday Night Live 40 years ago for all you youngins out there. It's actually the opposite. We were outside because the helicopter was full of these baskets of these bottles.
You had a room, right?
Yeah, precious cargo.
There was no place to
really?
sit.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
and it was totally fun too.
Well,
when do I get my turn, Pete?
Yeah. Eric's always stuck in the command center. You guys don't let him out of
that. What's up with that? Seriously.
Well,
not to mention when it's 104 degrees. It's the only comfortable place within 40 miles is to be outside the helicopter in the slipstream.
Yep. Well, as always, rockets are to be deployed as well, which is great. Getting those things ready, and they fire one off again. They had done before. They fire one off, and they, lo and behold, they do see it on the Doppler radar. You can see it right there, the little blue streak that's flying through the air there. So that's good. That's what they wanted to see. Make sure they could see those. All right. So, and there they are. Speaking of standing on a landing skid of a helicopter, I don't know how many lines you had holding you in there, but there probably wasn't near enough. But so there you see him taking off. And look at this one. I don't know.
Really, Pete.
What, haven't you ever seen Titanic? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, in all seriousness, because Cameron is the pilot in charge.
Mm-hmm.
If there was anything that he felt was unsafe, irresponsible, et cetera, he would. His livelihood is at risk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He would put a stop to it. So, I think that's important to note. It's not all fun and games. This is taken really seriously by Cameron, number one, and then in this case by Jeremy and I. It's like we're checking each other's gear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like for those of you who are, the number one accident for climbers who are in a climbing harness is they fall out of their harness.
Yeah,
they didn't do their harness right when they were suiting up. All right. And Jeremy and I are looking at each other going, check me again. Yeah. So I'm belaboring the point, but it's risk mitigation is serious business, even if it doesn't look like it in terms of what hits the airwaves.
Right. There's different times when I thought, if OSHA was watching the show, they might no. Good. Yeah. I was like, because I used to be in the safety industry, and I was like, oh wow, okay, look at that. All right, we'll move along. So you have that, and then I love this here. And I grabbed this shot here because you can actually see one of the bottles as it's being tossed out. It looks like it bounces off the little skid plate there, or whatever this arm is that's sticking out that he's actually standing on. So it must be a skid plate. But I also noticed the product placement. You get the
nice beat.
Yeah, get those little logos in there where you can.
Branding.
So that's great. Good stuff there for sure. And here it is. They're hoping to see the bottles on the Doppler radar, and lo and behold, they do. So there you see one of them right there, showing up as they're falling out, and then you see some more over here, which is great. Again, to be able to capture those, because that's what they're hoping to do with this particular unit. But again, going back to that anomaly that was spotted. I mean, I know we kind of passed through that rather quickly, but that anomaly that was spotted and looked as though it was moving towards the triangle, yet nobody on the ground could see it. I can't. I mean, it's looking for, here I have the opportunity to have Eric here with us to maybe shed some light into that whole area, as better than I could possibly do. That anomaly that showed up on there, Eric, that they had, Travis was asking them to look for on the ground in the triangle. That was, now if that's Doppler radar is designed to look for weather anomalies, yet it's seeing something like that. Could it be mistaking a field of some sort as a weather anomaly? I mean, I don't understand the hell.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect it to perceive a field, right? However, you can imagine a field might create a condition that would then be reflective. And let me give that another try. So you could imagine a field of some kind that entrains or sort of traps or confines maybe some particulates, right? Maybe some physical material that might reflect. I guess you could. I don't know. I didn't think about a field necessarily being involved, but I think it's a really good question. We were told that these instruments, of course, they see water, they see insects, which are mostly made out of water, right? You'll see, I guess, flocks of birds and so forth. But the stuff we were seeing, I think, the way it was pointed out to us that none of that stuff, none of those interesting blips that we're pointing out, none of those conformed with things like bugs and birds and whatnot. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The modern Doppler radar is very, very good at recognizing, because it has dual polarization. So it's looking both vertically and horizontally, and it's looking for symmetric things like raindrops or hailstones or things like that. And it's gotten very, very good at recognizing a 2x4 or a shingle or debris. It knows what's not natural and can display that. That's when, if you watch, the radar of like a tornado, they know that it's gotten to be a pretty significant tornado when they start to see blue on the radar return. Blue is non-natural items in the air, and that's a debris field caused by a tornado. So it does have some ability to, tell the difference between things. And the fact that those little tiny bottles were showing up so bright and clear is really pretty impressive.
Ford fan asked the question, was a helicopter stationary during the bottle drop, or was it moving in a circular pattern or moving around? Was he trying to keep it stationary? Do you know?
No, we weren't hovering.
Okay. Well, and that was one of the things about, and I grabbed this particular picture here as you and Jeremy were throwing the bottles out, and I showed the one that was, because when you're dropping them, there's nothing in them, right? They're very lightweight, I would imagine. And when you're dropping them, they're actually, from the prop wash and everything is happening, they're being pushed back behind you. So not a straight drop, but eventually once they're outside of that turbulent area, they're going to start dropping straight down. Trying to get them all in the same area from 2,500 feet or even 3,500 feet, it's going to be darn near impossible, I would think. But you can see in this picture here, you can see the triangle below, and there's the bottle falling down. But still, one of the things that came up from all of this was that not one bottle out of 200 landed in the triangle area. How in the heck is that even possible? I don't quite. I don't know. I mean,
another behind the scenes moment. So the whole back seat and the floor is full of these milk crates full of these bottles. And they all have these little plastic parachutes. Well, we've got both doors open. So between the rotor wash and the slipstream, it was actually kind of a socks moment for those paying attention, because they were wanting to get airborne out of the boxes
Oh
while
yeah.
we are in flight.
Yeah.
And, Jeremy and I are on the comms, and, we had already had the conversation about what you were just talking about. Well, what about rotor wash? If any of this stuff was to get sucked up into the rotors, bad day.
That'd be bad. Yes.
So we were throwing them. We weren't dropping them. We were,
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was just a crazy moment when I remember us both lying on top of these boxes because these little parachutes are trying to get these things airborne inside the helicopter.
Yeah.
That would be bad too. Yeah.
Bad day.
Yeah. Especially when somebody's trying to fly the thing and they're all banging around inside. Yeah, that'd be awful. Here, I got a little video again I want to show here on the screen. This is of some of that again, and I slowed the second one down. This is you guys throwing them out as you go along. Yeah, there's the throwing, and here's I slowed this one down, and you can see how it flies backward. I mean, from the rotor wash, it's coming out of there pretty quickly and going. But yeah, you got to throw them. But again,
and it shows that we weren't hovering.
Right.
We were in forward trajectory.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
By the way, there was a hilarious comment, Kelly, a few minutes ago. A WKRP reference right up my street.
Oh, yeah.
The turkey incident.
Yes.
I swear, I didn't know that.
Right. It was a quote from Cameron. Cameron says, "As God is my witness, I thought Pete Kelsey could fly." Genius.
Well, he had his arms out, so I mean, there was that. Oh, the humanity! Oh, the humanity!
Oh boy,
good times.
classic.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that when I mentioned and I thought I could have swore that Travis had said they had GPS units in them, but I thought that's not going to work too well. But my thought on that whole thing was that these bottles, when they come out, and the fact that we heard Caleb and Thomas talking about the fact that none of them landed in the triangle. We said, oh, that's a good safe zone now. The triangle's a safe zone. So if things are falling out of the sky, go to the triangle. But the fact that none of them fell in there to begin with is out of 200. That's pretty remarkable. But where did they fall? Did they and maybe this is coming out in the next episode. Maybe they'll talk about this a little bit to describe what. So don't answer the question if that's the case. But my thought was, where did they fall? Now we saw the rockets that were being shot when Lock Precision was out there last week, and some of the rockets actually came down as though it hit and slid down the side of the bubble and landed 2,000 feet away from the center of the triangle. And so did these, and then we saw the bottle, the little red and yellow bottles that were thrown out a few years ago kind of do the same thing. Like they went down, bounced off the bubble and then landed on the outside of the perimeter. Did this also happen or seem to happen with these bottles as well?
Right. But that's why Travis said, don't pick up the bottles.
Right.
We want to get a GPS location on them.
Yes.
He didn't mean there was GPS in the bottles. He meant they would go around and take the GPS location of where they landed.
That is exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what we did.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Wait to see.
I was just reminding myself of what that flight looked like, and oh my gosh,
I knew that's what you were looking at.
Well, I'm thinking, okay, am I remembering this right?
Share a screen if you want. You can actually share that if you want.
No, I can't share this one.
Oh, okay, all right.
but this is for my sake. Oh my gosh, yeah, I've got all the locations where the chaff, right, where we did that part, right, and then the bottles where they were released, and so I've kind of annotated it in 3 space here. But boy, did you guys fly around a lot. No, you were not hovering. Right. I mean, I'm going to have to get away from these models, this style of model, because they just get so busy. I think I'm going to go to I'm going to start using your point clouds as the canvas for all this, Pete.
Right.
There are a couple thousand people listening right now that if they thought you actually meant that, there would be a mass suicide. So
No. I just mean I need to do this better. It gets so cluttered. I need to find a
okay.
more dynamic way of doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be better. I promise.
You know what? I can't wait. Honestly, that's the thing about what you guys are doing out there is that the technology is getting better and better and better all the time. And I keep saying you're so close now. I mean, we know that there's an anomaly there. We know that there's a bubble structure of some sort there. We know that there's the magnet. Electromagnetic field up happening in there. We know all these anomalous things are going on all over the ranch. At some point, you guys are going to get to the point where you can see it whenever you want to see it. You're going to get there. I don't know when that's going to happen, but you're going to be able to get to see this and be able to decide or, look at it whenever you want to, if it's transient or not. I can't wait for that day to come, but you keep throwing all this new stuff at it, these new experiments, and it's getting closer and closer each time. I'm very impressed, and that's what keeps me loving this show, this docu-series, and what you guys are doing out there. I know I went on a little tangent there, but thank you very much.
Well, I will too. Don't forget the forensic part of this that Eric's been talking about. Is like we have a ton of data. Something unexpected and revealing might appear that is years old, right?
Yep. A new way to look at things might come along.
We have used the term embarrassment of riches, and I think that is definitely the right term when it comes to the amount of data, the sheer amount of data. And I've always been convinced that you have your first pass and you do a subsequent pass and you just keep digging deeper into that same data set. And sometimes in retrospect, you actually have better ideas about how to go at it, and you've got it right there in your archives. You just need to apply the right algorithms or search methods or whatever. And that's what we're doing. We're going to keep doing it.
Yep. This shot here is a picture of one of the bottles actually coming down right here. You can barely see it right there as it's falling. And that was one that kind of fell, as I was mentioning earlier, outside of the bubble boundary. It seemed as though from Caleb and Thomas's perspective that this was falling outside of the bubble boundary and over by the posts that were out there. And again, that's what made me wonder about the red and yellow plastic bottles that were thrown out, or the medicine balls where they, some were, I don't know if they ever found them all. I know there was a couple that were still being searched for, but I think that eventually, Mike, do you remember we had Caleb on? Did they eventually find them all? I think at some point, I don't know if that was
I don't know if they found all of them, but they did find more. They found more than we saw on the show.
Yeah. So really, I mean, again, is that bubble boundary making these things bounce off or be deflected away from that area? Don't know the answer to that yet, but boy, it sure seems that way with some of the landing spots of several things that have dropped out of there. So here they are coming in. And again, these guys are daredevils. I mean, I swear that being able to do this and do these experiments was just wild with what was going on there. And you wouldn't, the last ones you had when you threw the yellow and red bottles out, you were throwing them out the window or outside of the door, the open door. This time standing on the skids, which I think was the smart way to get them deployed better. So I'm glad they were doing that. But and then the rockets and all that stuff going on. It was just a fantastic particular episode on this side. And then being able to get all the bottles as they were coming down. But again, I go back to the point that we did not get all of the show's data yet, and that's going to come. Now, here's a little portion. I want to go back to this video for a second here. Now, this is a portion where in the command center, they were able to take a look at some of the data that was shot from different camera perspectives that Eric had. And I think this is one of them coming up here. Oh, that's the end. I gotta wait. I gotta wait on this one. There was one that showed, and I may not have it here with me, but it showed the I think it was Meta, I believe, and it showed the drones going up, all four of them in formation. You could see the FPV there.
It was time lapse. Time
lapse. Thank you.
Yep.
And it had a bright little light show up just above them in like one frame. It was there and then gone that quickly. And then as the four drones got a little bit higher, that's when they all went awry at that very moment. And so we have to ask the question, was that just a light anomaly? I don't think so. Could that have been something that just for whatever reason, it was a satellite or something that just happened to be lit up for that one moment right there in that spot? Or was this some sort of a UAP or something that was affecting the drones? Because it was just moments later that the drones fell out. They got what they're saying is the kill command and fell out of the sky.
Yep. You know, and we've seen this before. I don't know if it aired, but, you know, when we've had like catastrophic events with the rockets, right? You know, I've caught these single frame events where there's this one really bright point of light or bright pixel, I should, you know, let me be exact about this. It's a really bright pixel. It's there in one frame. It's gone every other. And then suddenly something happens. You know, it was a rocket's blowing up. You know, the first time we noticed this stuff is, well, does it have a relationship to what happened? We don't know, right? There's correlation and causation, right?
Right. Yep. And here it is. I found it. I did actually find it. This is really cool, folks. Check this out. And again, I hope Prometheus doesn't get too mad at me. Here they are going up. There's your four drones.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then they shot. You see them fall right there. Now, I did slow this down. I think this is the one where I have it here again. I slowed it down, I hope. Maybe not. Yes, I do. Okay. Here they go again. And
boom,
like that. So, and you saw this. Now, here's where they talk about this little light for it. Whoop. Let's see if I got the light in here. Yeah. Right here it is.
Yeah, there. Right there.
Yeah. Look up there.
Right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Flash, possibly. Flash right by.
What are the odds?
What are the odds of something like that happening and showing up right there seconds before everything goes awry?
Yeah.
Coincidence? I don't believe in such things. So, yeah.
Like I said, Jeff, epistemic odyssey.
Yes.
How do we resolve these things? I mean, one of the biggest deliverables, you know, of all this work, although obviously we're very interested in the headline topics, but I think one of the biggest deliverables is refining our ability to make sense of these things when we're not sure. Is it just correlative? Is it a coincidence? Is it causal? You know, does A cause B? Does B cause A? Do they have common cause? Is there C somewhere out there? That's really the challenge for me.
Yeah. Well, you heard Pete talk earlier about the fact that he's so happy that you guys are like, I'm not satisfied with these answers or not getting these answers. Let's get these answers. Let's do what we can.
That would ruin the ride. I mean, to be satisfied, to be complacent. Well, this is not a game for folks who are, you know, inclined to complacency.
No. Well, it's just the way it is. Let's move on to something else. No, not at all. So that was really, again, that was just, you know, I'll just finish that out real quick. I think I had one little piece showing that light show up there, right?
That was cool. I like seeing that again.
Yeah. Isn't that just, to me, that's just crazy. And then right there is where it happened. Just seconds later is when
somebody asked, could that have been a satellite?
Well, I mean, look, it could have been on anything, but we don't usually see satellite like this. Is again, yes, we do see things like the iridium flares and And yeah, we do see the light glinting off the satellites, and at certain times of after sunset or before sunrise. But a single frame, no.
Not a single frame. Something showed up there momentarily. It had to decloak so that it could fire and then go back to cloaking again. So,
yeah, sure.
Just like the Romulan ship, it has to decloak.
You could be right.
Yeah, or the Klingon ship, it had to decloak. The
bird of prey, yeah.
Well, everybody's allowed to have fun with this. While we're on the journey, it's okay.
Well, I tell you what, it is fun, but it's also so damn interesting. It truly is. And again, I know you guys have heard me say this a million times, but I get people all the time telling me, "Oh, the show's full of crap. They make all this crap up." And I'm telling them, you obviously do not really truly watch this show.
And that really saddens me. I don't like that. I don't want people thinking that, because everything we're doing is in earnest. Now, it's likely, as we've had this discussion in other venues about, how, we're casting a very wide net, into this ocean. And, in some cases we do have statistical bases for, drawing attention to something. And sometimes we just don't. We don't have the time, the resources, human and material resources to do that. But, let's remember what the deliverable is here. A lot of this is going out and probing the space and seeing what happens within the time frame that we have, so that we can then come back and do some of these other projects, like some of the stuff you see on my screen.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot of human nature at work here too, right? I mean, talk about an elephant in the room. Some folks just cannot let go of their reality, their truth, their whatever it is.
That's true.
And I think that's what makes all of us collectively on this call and interested in these topics is we're just the opposite. No, we lean in.
Yeah.
Okay, we understand there's a lot of people who are going to go, it's all nonsense. To me, and just to me, I won't speak for anybody else. That's the easy way out. It's like, okay, cool. But I hope you don't mind if the rest of us keep working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love it.
Keep your opinion, but that's fine. But yeah, we're going to keep at it. Thanks.
Yeah, I really like how you put that, Pete. I think some of us are just, ontological shock junkies. We enjoy the things that challenge our paradigm. And, as long as we're okay with, as you've heard me say so many times, being caught red-handed in the act of learning and having to adjust our stance relative to all this stuff. I mean, that's what we're doing. It may seem sometimes graceless, but we are all very sincere in our efforts to figure out what is and is not going on at the ranch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be involved. Frankly, life's too short.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who would willingly walk into a crackpot hornet's nest? It's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
All we are is curious. All we are is curious.
Yep.
Yes.
But look at the things that have been, and I mentioned this earlier, talking about the metadata or the metaframe and this new thing you're working on with the LiDAR. Look at what's coming from it. The need to know maybe I can take this technology and I can do this with it. Oh my gosh, look what you've come up with now. I mean, the metaframe alone is just fantastic.
I'm glad you like it. Like it. I got to tell you, Jeff, it has gotten a lot better since any of the stuff you're seeing on your screen.
Yeah, well, I imagine so. Yeah. That's the evolution of this stuff happening.
Right.
I remember in the Insider program watching the birds coming through, and you got a little pixel of a bird, and his whole trajectory through the screen and back again. It's amazing.
Okay. I want to say something about that, because I've had for more than a year, I've had a really neat conversation with Ben Woodruff. I hope you've had him on. Have you?
Not yet, but he's coming on. Yeah.
Oh, he is just delightful. I mean, the guy's enthusiasm for the things he knows is just contagious. He's fantastic. But he and I have been knocking this idea around for a while about using metaframe to study the behaviors of birds and whether statistically they exhibit any kind of avoidance behaviors or changes in the way they're flying through certain regions of the ranch. What we're really talking about is that word biosensor, and that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And so we might be able to, kind of combine Mother Nature with, things like our metaframe things and. Yeah, we might learn some things through that avenue. So we'll see if we can put something together.
You know what? It's how when you take we could do a whole show just on that alone, because you take things like, birds knowing where to go back to return when they migrate north and south, and and they know where to go. How do they know?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's interesting about that is, how do they know? The Earth's magnetic field.
Right.
Yeah. Which is what sensors do they have on board to tell them about what that magnetic field? Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Well, we better not open that can of worms right now. I know. Oh, all right. So,
that's actually a fact. I didn't pull that out of my what.
All right, so we had the drones and the drones falling out of the sky, and it was given to us as a description of, did they get a kill command? Because they didn't. And it was I correct in saying, Pete, that these drones have like this? They have like the 3 areas of safety zone. If they go outside of this area, do this. If they get outside, do this. The final one is to just drop.
More than likely, yes. I can't speak to the Sky Elements system because it's proprietary.
Right.
But that is absolutely typical. There are fail safes along the way that the software will actually kick, safety systems in place.
Right. So when these drones got up there and they got to this 3,200 feet, it was 3,271 was what the one guy said it was on the one, and then the other ones get up there about the same thing, about 3,200 feet, and boom, they just drop. So I mean, it seemed like they now ignored all of the written software for fail safes.
Well, and this is
I don't know.
A key point here in the systems that I've used in my career. There's no such thing as, actually there is, but on only one system. I can't imagine that a commercial enterprise like Sky Elements has something built into their system that says, stop all motors, let gravity do its thing.
Yeah.
That seems as absurd as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So do I think it's some sort of fail-safe piece of code? There's no way.
Yeah.
There isn't an underwriter who would insure them for that.
I don't think you're.
What
I think you're right.
happens? The fail-safes that I'm familiar with trigger one command: land.
Yeah.
Where you are. Land.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't just shut down and fall.
And we've seen this, right? We've seen with your drones, with your assets, Pete. We've seen some unusual things happen where it's letting you know something's not right. I gotta get back on the ground. Yeah.
The fail safes in my gear, the red lights. When the system realizes that there's no recovery, land right where you are, and that could be over people. It could be something bad, but the point is the command is land, not fall, not shut down.
Right. Yeah. And these things shut down. I mean, they really did. And I thought, well, did they get outside of the limit of their radio signal range or whatever? But they were pre-programmed, to do what they were doing. Yet I don't know. It was just amazing, and I can't wait. Hopefully next week we get a little bit more data on this to get a better explanation of what happened.
The log files.
The log files.
I've been searching through my archives. I haven't found those. I found all the others. I've got to reach out to Preston and see if I can get my hands on those.
There you go.
Those logs, because we can fly with those drones. If the data's intact, we can actually go experience what they did.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll learn something new from it.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Well, I tell you what, so we had that section there. That was really awesome to see. Then we had the Doppler radar. The Doppler radar did pick up the cans falling out of the sky. And they also picked up this anomalous area, this thing that was out there. Don't know what it was, but it was definitely there and it was moving, but nobody on the ground could see it. Staring up into the sky right where Travis was telling them it was not visible in any way, shape, or form. And then, we have all that going on. And then at the end of the flight, and I'm going to bring my screen back up here so I can show this real quick. At the end of the flight, we get a little bit of this.
I just saw something by the base of it. It's right there behind it.
Okay, so something's seen by Pete flying. You can see something down on the ground by the mesa flying along. It sounds to me like you're not really sure exactly what it is. And then Cameron says something about it being right behind you, and then Cameron, this was kind of funny, and I'm going to throw this out there. I hope I don't make anybody at Prometheus mad, but I did catch this. Listen to what Cameron is saying here. If you listen closely to this, it kind of gets washed out what he's saying here, and I'll play it. You can hear it twice. Listen to this.
By the base of it. It's right there behind it. Flying around just above the treetop.
Yeah, what's
flying around just above the treetop.
Okay, so they cut him out there. You could hear he's trying to explain what it is, and you hear this, in the background. You can't really hear what he's saying, but yet on the preview we had from last week, we had.
There's an unidentified flying object flying around just
Oh, there. So, I don't know what they did there, but anyway, so the preview said unidentified flying object. So whether or not that's what he really said or not, we don't know.
That's a good catch. That's interesting.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, I try to, I'm listening for everything. I'm really trying my best to get it all.
It helps to be obsessed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Now you guys are making me really self-conscious.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm always looking in the background, trying to pick out anything.
Yes.
And I noticed that, and I'm like, that was funny.
Yeah.
He didn't say it here, but yet in the preview he did. But yeah, so then we got the old great, stay next time. But we did see this.
Is that a drone? No drone. Negative on drone.
Uh-huh.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. So
To be continued.
to be continued. That's where we got it. We saw something that was being looked at. It looked like one of the camera assets on the helicopter saw this thing, and you were able to pull it from the camera footage and display it there. So we don't know what it is yet. We're going to see that next week. It did look like one of those silvery orbish type things that we've seen not only on Skinwalker Ranch, but also in other places around the world that people have captured. Looked like an orb again. Yeah, it did. It looked like an orb, but we don't know exactly what it was yet. But we'll hopefully find out next week, right?
Sure hope so.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
God, when I saw that, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because as we've said a million times, there's no insight into how they're going to edit and cut this thing together.
Yes, right.
Because there's so much I want to, I want to share right now, but I can't.
No, we understand.
See you next week.
Yeah. So next week we've got stay tuned. Those famous words, I know, right? So next time we are going to get to see a few interesting things coming up. Here we go. Let's talk about those real quick. So we got there's the shot of the orb. You can see it right there as the camera on the helicopter picked it up. And they're doing laser lights. We get laser lights next week as well. That's going to be cool with smoke, not just in Homestead 3 or Homestead 2, but these are going to be happening out on the, I'm assuming off the top of the mesa or something. I don't know. This is the triangle down here. There's a couple of towers down there in the triangle. So, and these lights look like they're up high. I don't know. We'll find out.
My PTSD.
What's that?
Yep.
I said my PTSD.
And then you see that? And I think that was Pete again in the helicopter saying, "Did you see that?" And then, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get to see a UAP that seems to be flying very closely to the helicopter. And then you see Cameron saying something just flew by the helicopter. I don't know. He's got some party balloons in the back. He's taking them somewhere. But yeah. So, yeah, we get to see a UAP affecting. And everybody got pretty excited on the show about he needs to come down now. Now, we don't know exactly what the entire premise of that was. Brandon was there. Everybody's talking about get that thing out of the air now, the helicopter. But we're not sure exactly why yet. Man, a couple of good episodes to go, and I tell you what, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I really am. I can't imagine what we're about to see in the next. So now we know the last episode will be a recap probably in Brandon's offices, but so we got 2 more episodes with some good content.
Well, I have an idea. Why don't we meet again next week?
Okay. I love that. I think you might have more to talk about. And Eric, you're welcome as well. Always. There's, and that's something that I've told Pete many times, Jan Franke, because I love Jan. He's become a very good friend.
He's fantastic.
He really, truly is. We had a nice little video that he did. If any of you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. We did about 30 minutes with him in Cairo with the pyramids behind him. And we talked about his work that he's doing in Cairo. Amazing stuff. Anyway, it's another video you guys can check out. But yes, Eric, there is always a seat at this table for you. If you would, you just let me know and you're here. That's all. That's how it works. I don't like bugging people. I hate bugging people going, "Hey, you want to come on the show?" I hate that.
That's very kind. I'm game. As long as I've got something to share that's worth the time, I'm sure glad to do it. Yeah. Mostly everything I'm working on, it's a work in progress. Everything is a development project, and so every once in a while, it's fun to share the results.
I tell you what, we love hearing it. I know that it was kind of said, well, I don't know that anybody be interested in learning about Metaframe. I mean, come on. Yes, we are interested in learning about Metaframe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think sometimes there's a really good part of the discussion that I hope we always remember to have, even if it's just a short thing, and that is to talk about the why.
Yes.
The why of the things we're doing. And there's the what, you're going to put it out there and do the show and tell. And I think it's really fun when you don't just understand what someone else is doing, but why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It really helps to just put it right in place.
Yep. Yeah, truly does. Wow. I don't know, Mike, what do you think? Was this a great episode or not?
No, boring.
No. Boring. Totally boring.
No, it was action packed. And I think you guys have both illustrated too, that to the folks that think that there's only experiments and work on the ranch happening when the film crews are there, is not true.
Right.
And as insiders know and have watched, we've seen you working year round, always doing something, always developing something, always a project or 2 or 5 or 20 going on. So it really is all the time, and it's not just the show. That's our main insight into what's going on and some of the investigation, but there's so much more behind the scenes, and yes, Insider Program helps with that too. But it's the bottom line is this is an ongoing investigation, not just a TV show.
Pete, this guy Pete here has spent about as much time in what we would think of as the off season with me out there on the ranch as, in front of that firing line of lenses, right? So we've gotten a lot of work done, and around the year, because Brandon, just like the rest of us, we said we're not complacent about it. And he's like, look, yeah, Eric, if you think we need to do a follow up, we need to get some more data, control data, whatever, let's go get it. And we've done a lot of that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that's fantastic stuff, because like you said, like Mike just said, that the anomalies that happen, the high strangeness that happens at Skinwalker Ranch doesn't just happen during the whatever 3 months that they're filming. It's happening all the time. There's always data to be collected there. And thank goodness that you guys are working on that pretty much all the time. And I know that you're doing your experiments during your filming season, which we're assuming is going to be happening really soon, coming up here. But again, that's why I was kind of wondering if you're going to come back on, and I talked about the Wednesdays coming up when the show is all finished, when we have the finale.
Mm-hmm.
You might be really busy, but we'll work it out. Whenever, I know, you guys work late into the night if you were to film season 8, you'd be working late into the night, but I'm willing to work with your schedule too. So you just let me know. But we'd love to talk about Metaframe, anything else you got working out there. And Pete,
I think what I should do is probably send you some screenshots from all this suite of things that I've been working on, and you can decide what's in scope and what's maybe not.
All right. Well, Pete, you're welcome to come too. Believe me. I mean, like I said, I love having you on the show. I love having you both on the show. And Caleb has been really nice. We love having him too, and Jan. And man, yeah, it's really nice of you guys to do that. We appreciate it. So, all right, Mike, let's wrap it up. What do you think? Any last words? Any last thoughts?
I'm ready for the last 2 episodes, and then the wrap up. We'll digest it all as best as we can.
And then Phenomenon coming in September. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here. Pete and Eric, really appreciate you. And all of you watching, we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here tonight. If you like the content of the show that we did here for you, please consider giving us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. We really appreciate that as well. After the show is done, you can always come back and do a hype later on. Again, it helps. Tell a friend. If you enjoyed it, maybe they will. Tell a friend. Get it out there to as many people as possible. Thank you all, and we'll catch you next time right here on the J Free 906 podcast. Good night, everybody.